Welcome back to Audience, a Castos original experience, broadcasting from the center of your audio universe, where the most creative podcasters come and find their home at castos.com. Press play right here in your podcast player every week. It's like a cheat sheet for marketing, monetizing, and growing your podcast so good, you'll want to share castos.com/audience with your closest friends. Okay, Audience starts now. How to be a better podcast guest. Hey there, listener. Chances are, if you're listening to this episode, you produce a podcast. There's a 90% chance that podcast is an interview show. There's a 50% chance you've had a guest on said show that made you exhale a gigantic WTF was that when the conversation stopped. We've all had that guest. They sounded good on paper, but when you hit record, the whole vibe fell flat. So the mission today, share this episode with your potential guest. Because, dear guest, my friend the podcaster here, wants the best show possible. Here are 6 ways to be a better podcast guest. Number 1, do some research. Spend some time researching the podcast you're going to be on. Listen to an episode that catches your eye. Read the show notes from the guest interview before you. Heck, download the transcripts and breeze through how our podcaster frames their questions. Anything is better than nothing at all, especially if you were one of those guests that used a booking agency to get on the show. Number 2, bring the energy, but not too much energy. Be excited to share your story, lesson, or your moment. You don't have to overemphasize everything or even feel like you're putting on a performance. Working off the energy of the host is key. Match them to where they're at in their performance. We don't want answers to silently fade out. It's like eating the empty calories of a bagel. I'll be getting some hate mail on that comment, but the idea is to deliver on your promise. We're all here sharing this precious time together. Number 3, say no to AirPods. Never use AirPods on a podcast interview ever. Never, ever. If you plan on appearing across more podcasts throughout your career, which by the way is great for your brand, invest in a decent USB microphone. The Samson Q2U is a great $60 to $80 microphone that plugs in via USB. It's really straightforward and sounds really good. Number 4, good lighting for video. Look, I won't tell you to invest in a mirrorless camera that plugs into USB through an HDMI converter or has native USB-C streaming support. Just check on your lighting. You might be anchored to your laptop webcam or one fixed in the center of your iMac, and that's okay. Just make sure we can see you. Not too dark, not blown out. Play with the lighting in your room if our podcaster is indeed recording video. And bonus points, buy a USB webcam and a cheap desktop monopod mount to find the best permanent angle for all video calls. And why not? We're on web calls all the time these days. Number 5, value. Stick to delivering value for the audience. Give them your best stuff, not your best long drawn-out backstory. Even if our friendly podcaster isn't doing their job to pull it out of you, just know that what the audience wants is value. Your expert opinion, action, or take on subject matter, that they're there for. It's why they clicked play to begin with. And FYI, I'm strictly talking about your typical B2B interview show here. Other genres of shows might require a different soft skill or emotion. Your mileage may vary. And bonus number 6, a call to action. Hey, you're in this for you too, right? Have a solid call to action where you can send people after you appear on a podcast. Can you give them more information, a way to connect, a place to learn more about you or your brand? Come equipped with a URL or a download to extend that relationship. It's best for everyone. I could go on with more tips and tricks to be a better guest, but these 6 ideas lay a solid foundation that put you on the path to being a better guest on a podcast, especially if this is your first time. Now back to you, podcaster. Want to make sure this gets across to your guest? Well, aside from sharing this episode with them, start scheduling pre-interviews. It's like stretching before a 3-mile run. You'll be better off that you did. Okay, quick episode today. It's outro time. Hey there, listener. It's Matt. Before you go, I want to offer you, the aspiring podcaster, 2 special items. Number 1, if you haven't started a podcast yet, or you want to find a better podcast hosting company, start here at Castos. Use our coupon code, AUDIENCE20, that's AUDIENCE20, when you sign up for a new account at castos.com. Start a podcast like the one you just heard, or about gluten-free muffins, whatever it is, will help you get your podcast out into the world. Number 2, did you know that our academy is free? Enroll today for free at academy.castos.com. Get access to our courses, videos, and templates, all for free. Thanks for listening to the Audience Podcast today. We hope we're helping you become a better podcaster. All that's left for you to do is share this episode on social media. Bye for now.